All right. Tonight, I want to start somewhere different. Not with religion, not with church, not even with the Bible. I want to start with reality itself. Because before anyone believes in God, rejects God, doubts God, or argues about God, every person already believes something about reality. And that's what most people don't usually slow down to think about. So tonight we're going to walk through this step by step calmly and clearly. This isn't about forcing belief. It's about understanding why belief is unavoidable, right? So let's begin with one thing nobody can escape. Something exists. You exist, reality exists, the universe exists. No worldview, religious or not, can deny that. And the moment you accept that something exists, you've already stepped into belief. Not religion yet, but belief. Because the next question becomes unavoidable. Why does something exist instead of nothing? There's only three logical options. Now we're going to slow down and do something important. We're going to limit the options. There are only three options or logical explanations for why anything exists. One option is something came from nothing. The second option is something created itself. The third option, something eternal, exists. There is no other options after that. Testing one option, which is nothing. Now let's test the first option, right? No power, no ability, and no potential. Nothing doesn't act, nothing doesn't create. So when somebody says something came from nothing, that's not science, it's a belief statement. They are still believing something, just not examining it, right? Now, the second option, something created itself. But for something to create itself, it would have to exist before it existed. That's a contradiction. Something cannot act before it exists. So, self creation falls logically. That leaves for the third option. Something eternal exists, something uncaused, something necessary, something that didn't begin. In the moment somebody accepts that, belief is no longer optional. The only question left is what kind of eternal thing exists? Now, impersonal or personal? Now we ask the next logical question. Is the eternal thing impersonal, like matter or energy, or personal, like a mind? Here's why that matters. Humans have minds, logic, morality, purpose, meaning. You don't get mind from mindless matter. You don't get moral obligation from particles. We don't just react, we reason. That tells you something very important. Reality is not just material, there is a mind behind reality. This is why that matters for belief, right? Once you accept that there is a mind behind reality, belief becomes personal because now reality is intentional. And once reality is intentional, questions like why we're here, does life matter, is there right and wrong, are there no longer emotional questions, there are reasonable questions, right? This is where religion enters, not by blind faith, but as claims. Every religion answers the same core questions. Who or what is ultimate reality? What went wrong? What is the solution? What is the end? Christianity is one of those claims. But notice something very important. Christianity does not start with just belief, it starts with a statement about reality. The key word in that is statement about reality. Now, the only thing now is we do right is open up scripture, not by force, belief, but examine the claim, right? So I want, if anyone is following me right now, I want y'all to open up Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, right? We're gonna look to this together. And we're not gonna read it, but we're gonna read the statement together. So look, this is the statement claim. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. In the earth without form or void, and the darkness was over the face of the deep, and the Spirit was hovering over the face of the waters. So this is already beginning of the creation claim, right? I'm gonna say that again. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. This verse doesn't argue, it states. Why? Because the Bible assumes what logic already demands, that something eternal exists. The difference is the Bible tells you who, right? Now, belief is about coherence. From here, belief is no longer about comfort. It's about coherence. Which explanation best fits, right? Existence, reason, morality, meaning. That's what belief actually is. Not blind faith, not emotion, but commitment to explanation that best explains reality. So here's the conclusion for the night of the clause, or the conclusion to what we figure out what God's from the beginning and from the end. You don't start with God because you're religious. You start with God because something exists. Belief is unavoidable. The only question is what explanation you trust. Now, the next logical question is this: if an eternal mind exists, why create anything at all? And that, my friend, we'll walk we'll walk on the next stream. And I hope to see y'all there. You know,